Hi everyone. Today Fed Powell came out with some comments, and he did give us a little bit of new information. Then we'll take a look at the charts, which ended up dipping a little bit lower like we expected, but caught an end of market rally right back to the highs that we saw on Thursday. Do me a quick favor and like and subscribe and watch the video till the end to help out the channel, and let's get started. So Fed Powell indicated that smaller rate cuts are likely to come and that they are not on any kind of preset course at this point. They did indicate at the last meeting that they plan to cut 1% this year, which means there should be another 50 basis points at some point, and that's likely to come in 2 individual cuts in my opinion. But he did want to message that the first cut was aggressive, and it should not be interpreted as a sign of the future, with more aggressive rate cuts to come. And he also indicated that the next cuts are likely to be smaller, which we kind of anticipated. I said 25 basis points at the next 2 meetings, but I also thought we wouldn't get 50 at this meeting, so definitely a little bit of mixed signaling with the big cut starting off the cutting season. But he did want to make it very clear that we're going to get smaller cuts for the rest of the year, totaling another 50 basis points. Moving over to the Fear and Greed Index, we did get into extreme greed here today at a 75 from a 67, so big jump here for the Monday session, hitting that 75 metric. Looking at momentum, extreme greed, strength, extreme greed, breadth, extreme greed, put call ratio, extreme greed, VIX, still neutral, basically flat on the day. Safe haven demand, extreme greed, and then junk bonds still hovering in fear. But nearly every metric at this point is in extreme greed, which again means that most of the gains have likely come and the risk is to the downside. Moving over to seasonality, we are expecting bearish seasonality here for pretty much the whole month. Couple of spikes here and there, but bearishness starting off the month straight down with 2.5% all the way up until the 9th or 10th of the month for this election year chart. So definitely a bearish season, waiting to see if that comes to fruition. Moving over to the economic calendar, Fed Powell speaking was pretty much the only thing. Chicago PMI in line with expectations. A little bit weak there at a 46.6. Would like to see that jump up above that 50 line. Tuesday CPI for the Eurozone, fairly interesting. Definitely getting some economic data though. ISM manufacturing PMI, manufacturing prices, JOLTS report, definitely going to be interesting at 10 o'clock. And then for Wednesday, we do have ADP non-farms coming out in the morning. Expected to be 125, previous number was 99. And it'll be interesting to see how this jobs data continues to trend. Moving over to Max Pain, the Max Pain chart I usually use is not working, so we're going to have to go with this one for now at charts.io/options. You can see they're saying Max Pain is here at 568, current stock price 573.66. For the SPY, so about a 1% down move to that current Max Pain chart for the Friday session. This doesn't tell me how many options are in the market, which is a little bit frustrating, but it does kind of give you a Max Pain over the couple days, which is cool. So for tomorrow, 570, 571, 572, and then for Friday, it drops off for that 1% down move. So based on this, you could see a little bit of flat action still where we are, and then looking for a little bit of a fall onto the Friday session. And then interestingly here for next week, 572 all week again until that Friday options expiration. So pretty interesting to see that. That's a cool metric, but I would really like to see that volume in comparison to Max Pain. Moving over to the charts, looking at the S&Ps, you can see big jump here at the end of the session, 0.42 right to those highs. Momentum still not going higher with it. RSI still trending higher. So the structure is still intact, still in this grinding price action. Tested that 9 EMA like we thought it would at 57.17, held the level after dipping low. And then looking at those shorter time frames here, you can see what that looked like. Big dip early in the session down to around 569.99, rallied mid-session, big dip right there on the second to last candle of the day, all the way down into the 568.18 area, which takes us all the way back to the lows from the 23rd. And then the last candle of the day, very powerful, strong candle, all the way up to 574. Big volume on that candle as well, 3.3 million shares. So definitely some buyers in here still, which is honestly surprising considering what we've been seeing in this price action. Momentum definitely slowing. We've been basically flat here for 3 days. Looking at the SPY on the Tasty charts, you can see that second ATR band that's at 574.37. That continues to be where we find resistance. We hit that again here today. Some decent volume, but didn't get a step up on the volume weighted MACD. The RVol spike though does give me a little bit of hope that this could find a little bit more upside. Upper ATR band is at 581.06, so about another $7 or $8 of potential upside to that next level. So we'll see how it plays. Not quite there yet. And then looking at the 4-hour chart, still basically flat here. First ATR band as resistance, 573.87, still bullish conditions. Tested those ATR trailing stops on that big spike down, so definitely interesting to see that get tested and find some support. Big volume here, you can see the huge R vol on that spike as well. ATR trailing stop is at 568.45. Moving over to the NASDAQ, similar thesis. We did dip to a new low, did hit that 9 EMA at 19,881. Momentum continuing to fade, but RSI still trending up slightly. Ended up positive 0.26 on the day, not nearly as strong as what we saw on the SPY. Definitely not at those Thursday highs, but held the test of the trend line, still finding a little bit of support in this zone. So interesting. Also, you can see the test of that previous high on 21 and 22 August. And then looking at that short time frame here on the hourly chart, you can see big wicks down to that 144 EMA. That was trading at 483.55. Still held the level 486.85, 84 on the closing basis, but chopped all around it. Couldn't get above it early in the session. Took till the last candle of the day to get back above it. So again, a little bit concerning, showing some weakness, but it did hang in there, not too bad. And then looking at the NASDAQ on the Tasty charts, you can see that 8 EMA still holding as support, 484.39. Momentum did step to bearish on the volume-weighted MACD, still holding this support zone here. Not too bad again, still holding support. But to be fair, it's not really finding any new highs by any means. You can see this slow downtrend we've been seeing. It's pretty much right at that resistance here. You can see it, some decent volume coming in there. Not as good as the SPY, but held support here at the ATR trailing stop. That was at 484.02. You can actually see it tested my buy price there as well, which is right there at 483.15. I bought in here on this last push up, and I've been trading options against it this whole time. Moving over to the Russell and the Dow. The Russell hanging in there once again, 0.25 on the day, still testing that upper level, 221.49, still finding a little bit of rejection from that zone. So still in this consolidation area, 218.13 up to 221.49. Really no change to the thesis. You can see we dipped down, found support, rallied up, found resistance, still in this consolidation. No change there. And then looking at the Dow, big dip down, got all the way down to 419.21. So we did get that continuation lower like we thought that we might, but we did find buying here, at least in the short term. Ended up holding the 9 and the trend line. So still bullish conditions, falling a little bit after hours. Moving over to stocks that we're watching right now, we got SOFI here. This is a little bit concerning. It's still in this uptrend, which I still do like, but I did want to highlight some changes here to the thesis. So we're stuck below this 9 EMA at 793. We're still above trendline support, which is currently sitting at 781, but we did see a step towards bearish on the momentum. RSI rejecting off the SMA, which is a little bit concerning. So you can see the breakdown here, retest breakdown. Still could hold support and get that continuation higher here, kind of like we saw here, up candle, down candle, continuation higher. So the structure is intact, but there are some warning signs there that are worth watching. Moving over to the Mag 7 here, we did get an up candle, 0.72. Momentum still not supporting it. RSI still trending higher. 68.93, almost overbought conditions. Still seeing resistance there at 283.46. Didn't quite get there on the touch. After hours falling just a little bit. Really no change to the thesis, just an up candle in this consolidation. Waiting for clear direction. Either we get the breakout here and push to the trend around 292, or we push back down to support 273.41, and then the potential breakdown to the 21 EMA there at 268.28. Either direction seems equally likely at this point, except for the fact that we've already had this big up move and this kind of overall uptrend, and we're at clear resistance in my opinion. Moving over to Apple and Microsoft, look at Apple. What a move. 2.29%, big breakout here. Momentum bullish, RSI bullish, back above this trend here, and then above the level 230.28. So this looks like it's going to push here to 237.23. Clean breakout, closed at the top. Seems like there are some buyers in Apple. Decent little volume spike, not a whole lot, but better than we'd been seeing. So Apple regaining a little bit of strength. Looks good there going into tomorrow's session. Probably about $4 of potential upside, as long as markets continue to cooperate. And then looking at Microsoft, did pretty much exactly what we thought it was going to do. Continues to grind lower. Wicked VWAP, found a little bit of support in there. Momentum still fading. RSI still fading. Still like this as a downtrend here. We talked about it in the Sunday video. I think this is going to turn into a medium-term downtrend. This is the top of the trend, in my opinion, and I think we're going to see that bigger breakdown. Moving over to Tesla and NVIDIA. Tesla up 0.45. Hit the price target here at 264.68. High was 264.86. So overthrew it by a few cents. And that really concludes this move for me. We hit these previous highs. We hit all the targets. First one and second one here after the clean break here. So got the move that we looked for. Now we're looking to see if that 280 is in play. Needs to get above this level here, 264.68. 280 is the next one. And then trend resistance, 289.09. So we'll see if it goes. Could certainly break down from here, consolidate, do something different, get a change in structure. We'll see. It's not quite overbought there to 68.16, so something to watch for. And then NVIDIA, basically flat. Did get the continuation lower, did test the 9 EMA, did test the highly traded zone. Momentum still fading, RSI right in line with that SMA almost. Looking for the retest while that SMA is still trending up, so that gives you a little bit of hope that this is going to catch a bounce and rally. I think it could go a little bit lower here to around that 115.30 area, touch this zone, and then find that bigger support. This kind of looks like a left shoulder, head, right shoulder forming, so that would fit. Hit the neckline, catch a right shoulder, and then we'll see what happens after that. Either way, doesn't look super great after breaking this trend line here. Moving over to Amazon and Google, look at these. Interesting, a little bit of a flip here. So Amazon's got this continuation lower, hit the 21, hit VWAP, so that hit the initial price target there. That was at 184.56. The low of day was 184.65. So we're going to call that a touch, just 9 cents off of it. Selling a little bit more after hours. I think it could have some more downside. 144 EMA would be your next level there at 182.34. And then I got my level here, 181.41, which is the high back here from 22 August. So looks like it's going to retest this, a little bit more selling. That's 4 bearish days in a row, so we'll see how it plays. It is back into this consolidation here from the mid to end of July, so it could find some support there as well. Either way, we'll see. But the interesting thing here is really Google. Look at Google, 1.15% to the upside. Got the break of the 55 and 144 EMAs. So we are back above all the EMAs and SMAs. We haven't seen that since all the way back here in mid-July. So your next level is going to be 170.95. Let's actually zoom out on this a little bit here and see this consolidation trend, topping pattern, big breakdown, bear flag, big breakdown. Found support at the key level. Right on time, 150.26. Caught a bounce from there, consolidation. Looks like we're getting a continuation, so that would put the price target there at 170.95, or about another $4 of potential upside. So something to watch for on Google. This might have a little bit more legs to the upside. Moving over to staples and discretionary. Staples falling 0.02, basically nothing. Still in the same consolidation, no changes here. And then discretionary is also falling 0.23, still at this key resistance trend line, marks this previous top, marks this top here. Momentum fading, RSI fading, just waiting for some consolidation in my opinion, and then this is going to roll a little bit. 21 EMA is down there at 192.55, so that's about $7.50 lower, and I think that's probably where this is headed. Moving over to oil and gas and transports. Oil and gas catching an up move, 0.29, momentum stepping back to bullish, RSI still holding that. Tested this level here back on Thursday at 128, 2 up days. Tested that 9 EMA. I think we're finding a base. I think we're going to get a little bit continuation here up to that 135 area. See how it plays. That's the next area after catching support here, looking for that next move. And then looking at transports, really no change to the thesis, but we're still here, 69.29, almost touched that level, almost touched the 9 EMA, still in this consolidation, but this is looking more and more like a topping pattern, which should give us a little bit more roll down to that 67.85 support. Moving over to RIOT and Marathon, these did catch some pretty big down moves, 5.36 and 6.19. Interestingly though, you can see this clear structure, resistance, resistance, clear breakout, looks like a retest. Momentum did step down, but look at this RSI right here. Just a point off of it, about to test it, looking to see if that zone is going to hold or not. Critical zone, critical support. If it does it, and it holds this support, I think we're headed to that 1878 level. I think it's certainly possible. If it breaks down, we're probably headed back down to here around 12.5. So Marathon, interesting zone here. Need it to hold, certainly could. And if it doesn't, it's probably headed about 20% lower. Moving over to 20 and 50-day breadth, you can see both of these were positive on the day, 4.66 and 0.73. 20-day came all the way to the level, 68.14, touched it, found a little bit of support there. Momentum still bullish, RSI still bullish, so maybe this has a little bit more in it, up to that 86.53 area. Still in the same consolidation, and it is right at the highs there, so interesting, no real changes. And then looking at 50-day breadth, we're still right here. 83.83 is the level. Couldn't get above it. Momentum still bullish. RSI still hanging in there. So still grinding price action. No real changes yet. Moving over to the dollar continues to find support in this same zone. So we've touched it a bunch of times at this point, and we are back above that 100.5 area. Current price is 100.75. Looking for that 21 EMA once again at 101.05, and then my level there, 101.25. Momentum bullish, RSI bullish. It's just a matter of time at this point, in my opinion. I think the dollar is going to head much, much higher. And once this starts to take off, that's usually a top area for equities, and it really fits with the thesis. It seems like the exact inverse, actually. You can see the big move up, losing momentum to the downside, looking for that bigger push up, just as equities seem to be topping out. Moving over to bonds. Bonds really didn't move a whole lot today. JNK basically flat, 0.00 actually to the penny, 97.79, and that's where we are now. So no change for JNK. TLT, we were looking for a little bit more up move to the 21 EMA, 99.24. Didn't really get that move. We're still testing this trend support. Need that to hold if it's going to do it. RSI says probably not. Momentum says could do it. So if it breaks 55 EMA there at 97.12, and then my level 96.50. Critical zone here for TLT. It's up a little bit after hours. Again, zone of support. Want to see it hold that area. Still very much an uptrend. Just a short-term pullback in my opinion. Moving over to the VIX. You can see the VIX did spike up to that 21 EMA at 17.64. Ended up negative on the day though, 1.36%. Momentum still swinging. RSI still bullish. Just an initial test. I think we're going to get continuation here up into that 20 to 22 area. I think there's more in it. See how it plays. Maybe this is still a short-term downtrend, still finding wick resistances in this area. Certainly a possibility, but for now, we're still at trend support after the clean break on Friday. Moving over to my accounts, I did not do a whole lot of anything today. I just rolled out my positions, 220 to tomorrow's session, made $80 there, and then Q's, same thing, 487 for tomorrow's session, $2 there, made a couple $100 on that position, and it's still basically flat after hours, so still in good position, around $400 potential profit on that. And then looking at the XOP, I did jump in on a position. I sold a 130 put for $1.13. It did move down just a little bit off that entry, but I think it does have a little bit more in it to the upside. I want to be patient here a little bit with the XOP just because we do have that unemployment data at the end of the week, and I think there could be some volatility with that. So that's why I was able to get $1 credit, more than $1 out of the money, and I'll be watching this one closely. Let me know down in the comment section what you thought of Jerome Powell's comments and what it means for the future cuts and where will the market go after that news. Definitely like and subscribe if you got any value out of this video, and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Of course, none of this is financial advice. This is all for entertainment purposes. Good luck in your trading and have a great day.